So I already kind of added the shortcut here to my taskbar, so I will run that. So this is going to be used for the mail merge portion. So again, once you start up, you will see the Act API settings menu on the top, which is already filled in with the same information that I did with the other one. So once you have that, you click on Act4Mail and then settings. I will kind of log into the API. Okay. So this is the first option here, the default templates folder, which is what we added recently. So because it is an API product and does not need a local installation of Act, you will likely not have access to your shared templates and such. So that's why we added this option, so that people can point the default folder to something like their Dropbox or OneDrive folder. So all the templates that they create will be synced and backed up, and they can access it from different machines. So that's pretty handy. The rest, so for the contact exclusion, they can create a permission field, which is by default called email permission. They can click on the create permission field button to quickly create that, or if they already have some similar field, they can select it from the drop-down. And that will be used to filter out contacts. So if, let's say, in this case, if the email permission field contains the word denied for any contact, then that contact will not be sent any email. Okay. If you click on email server settings, you can fill out your email server settings. So this does not use Outlook to send emails. That's simply just to kind of avoid any performance issues, and also will give you the option of using third-party SMTP services such as SendGrid or MailJet, which will let you send mass amount of emails without any restrictions. Because if you're using something like Hotmail or like a personal email server, then they usually have some kind of rate limits, and eventually will start blocking emails. So in those cases, we would recommend using a third-party server. But anyway, that's where your server addresses, username, port settings will go. At the bottom here is the number of connections. This is how many concurrent connections will be used to send out the emails. Most email servers probably will only let you do one, but I would recommend checking with your service provider to make sure they support multiple connections before changing this. Otherwise, you can always leave it to one. Obviously, having a higher number will increase the delivery speed. Okay. And then you can click on the Save button once you have this and save all the settings as a preset. Right now, I added the mail.keystruct.ca one as a preset. So even if I, for example, remove any of these, if I select the preset again, it will pre-populate that pretty quickly. So this way you can quickly switch between different servers and settings. So if you want to send out an email blast to a certain address, but then want to switch to another email address when sending some other email, you can pretty quickly do that by just switching value from the drop-down here. Okay. We go to history settings. It's just the history type that will be used for recording the emails, and also the update check if you want to disable that on the last tab. And that is about it for the configuration. So we go back to the Act4Mail tab. There's the Manage Templates option, which you can use to create templates in the program. I already kind of created one, and you can see it defaults to my Dropbox folder that I said before. If I open up that, it should be pretty similar to the editor if you've ever used Notifier or our custom tables product. All the options should be the same. So this will let you add your contact fields, your My Record fields, and opportunity fields. So I have an image here and a contact name. I will add one more. Say your email address is, and then it will just show the email address on the screen. So if I select contact from the record type, that will show me all the contact fields in the database. and I will just click on email. Now you can double click on it to add it to your the current position that the cursor is on, or the insert field. I'll just double click, and you can see it added the field code there. Okay, and you can add as many fields as you like to the template, and you can click on insert and pictures and create tables. I would recommend creating a table and then centering that table to kind of make the emails look a little bit better on all platforms. I do have, I believe, a knowledge base article on how to do that. If I go back here, might be under Mail Manager, but that does kind of go over the how to set up your email templates correctly. I will have to look it up. Unfortunately, I don't have that. There we go, creating templates. So here, yeah. So you create a template, a table with one column and one row, and then you set a preferred width, which is important otherwise sometimes the emails will look a little bit different on different platforms. So you can get to this article here on kb.act4work.com as well. Okay, if you go back here, I will save the template that I have here. File, save, and we'll just close, and then we'll just quickly do a mail merge and show you what that looks like. So you click on Act4Mail, write, and then merge to Word or email. We'll start with Word. You select the template from the folder. So now you can select either specific contacts that you want to send to, or you click on contacts in a group and select the group in the database that has your contacts, or you can send it to all contacts. I'll just select contact manually. At the bottom is where the file, the Word file, will be saved to. So I will just browse to the desktop and overwrite this test file. Okay, and just hit next. So here you will select your contact that you want to include in the mail merge. You can use the search field at the top to quickly search your contacts. Of course, you can add one or as many as you want. Now, because this is an API product, it's not going to load the entire list of contacts, because otherwise it will be just too much stress on the server. So it will load, I believe, 25 records per page, and you can hit the next and previous page buttons here to go through the list, or just use the filter option to kind of narrow it down. Okay, but once you have your contact selected, you just hit next. You can record a history if you like, and include it as an attachment. Hit next, and this will just give you a quick confirmation of how many contacts is going to, the record count, and you just hit next again to do the merge and then finish, and it should open up the Word document. Okay, so there it is. It entered my name and also my email address instead of the field codes that I entered. Okay, so that's how the merge to Word works, and merge to email is pretty similar. Again, to access that, Act4Mail, write, merge to email. You select the template, and you have the same three options to selected contacts, or contacts in a group, or all contacts. You don't have to worry about the Word file anymore. Just hit next here, and I'll just quickly do another merge and send it to myself. Show you what that looks like, and send it now. And so one of the new things is the ability to add field codes in the subject. So, for example, I can, for the email subject, I can say hello and then enter the contact's name. So to do that, we say insert field, and then select the contact name. You can just double click, and you can see it as the field code here on the subject line. So once the email comes in, you'll see instead of hello contact, it will have my name in there. You can also choose to copy any other addresses to your emails if you like. You can separate multiple ones by entering the email addresses, and then entering a semicolon. And the same with BCCs. And these checkboxes here are useful because if you're sending a very large email blast and you want to also copy one of your internal staff, you don't want them copied on every single email, otherwise they'll just get spammed by thousands of emails. So for that, you will simply check this option, and then it will copy them on one of the first emails, so they kind of are aware, the email blast is going out, and then for the rest of them, they will not be copied. Okay. If I hit next here, you can choose to change the reply to address. So let's say if you're sending from a pretty general inbox, such as info@yourdomain.com, but when the user replies, you want to have it return to a custom email address like your own or another person's. You can click on this option, enter in the user's email address, and when the user hits reply, the to address of the email will be automatically changed to this. Okay, and if we split the sending in smaller batches, this is just to kind of improve email deliverability if you're using personal email server, because some of them have limits on how many emails you can send a minute and so on. So in that case, I would recommend sending them in smaller batches. So here you can select a batch size and the delay between each batch. So over here at the bottom, you can see the recommended batch size is 25, and with a 30-second delay in between, and that should work with most servers. But this will all kind of be different depending on your server. So I would recommend checking with your provider. If I hit next, you can also add attachments if you like. So if I go to add, and of course the button's not working anymore. But yeah, normally you would be able to add any attachments like PDFs and such to all the emails that go out. Okay, but we'll leave that for now. Hit next, and again, you can record a history if you like. We probably don't want the body, so we just say subject. Hit next, and again, you get a confirmation. Okay, the emails were sent. And I'll just open up that email here. So you can see the subject changed to hello and then my name. The two users were copied on the email, and the rest of the email looks pretty much the same as the Word document. Okay, and that is it for Act4Mail.